What's going on, everyone? I wanted to make a video just talking about the importance of music and sound design. Obviously, it's something that we all use in our videos, but it's only been recently that I've really dialed in how to properly add, layer, and mix sound design and music together. So what I'm going to do in today's video is just walk you through a couple videos that I finished recently and just show you how I layer the different sound effects, and then most importantly, what effects I use specifically within Premiere Pro to make them feel realistic and how to make your voiceover pop as well. So before we get into that, today's video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound, and here's a little video talking about one of their brand new AI features called Adapt. Every story starts with emotion, but it's the sound that brings it to life. For every creator, the right track transforms a scene into an experience. That's why I use Epidemic Sound, the best soundtracking platform for every creator. Their catalog is filled with premium tracks by real artists, heard by over 2.5 billion people per day worldwide, and every track is completely restriction-free. So I can focus on creating without ever worrying about copyright restrictions. In my edits, sound design is everything. From layering subtle effects to matching emotion with rhythm. Epidemic Sound just made that process even smoother with Adapt, an AI-powered tool that lets you reshape a song to fit my story perfectly. I can tweak the mood, intensity, even instruments, all while supporting the original artist. Epidemic Sound doesn't replace creativity, it amplifies it. So if you want to elevate your videos with world-class music and sound design, click the link in the description to start your 30-day free trial. Epidemic Sound. Soundtrack the world. Okay, so let's start with the sequence from my latest short film. This transition of going into the VR goggles, I really wanted to emphasize through sound design. So let's watch the transition of entering the VR goggles with the music and the voiceover on mute. That way it's just the sound effects. So in total, there's 27 layers of audio waveforms. The problem you could have with that many layers of sound design is they constantly stack up on top of each other, and it could just sound like noise, especially if you're working with a lot of whooshes, impact sounds, too many sounds that are really high in treble or too low in bass. You'll end up just peaking and not really be able to distinguish between the different noises. So one of my favorite tricks that I like using is to go to the Effects tab in Premiere, drag and drop surround reverb, and then in Effect Controls, switch to the preset Somewhere Not Here. What that does is just put the sound effect slightly in the background, which allows you to stack multiple sound effects, and it doesn't sound like it's in the forefront and so heavy in your ear. Now, the trick of using surround reverb to put the sound effects in the background is great if you have voiceover and music, but if you want to emphasize the sound, or you want to emphasize your voiceover, what I like doing is adding the mastering effect and then selecting subtle clarity. What this allows you to do is even increase the gain to +6 or even +12, and that way it limits the peak range, so it's not blowing out in your speakers. So here's one more video edit I recently completed where I had a ton of sound design. Because the storyline was your imagination coming to life, I really wanted the sound to be immersive. So let's take a look, and then I'll break down what I did differently in this one versus previous edits. So for this video specifically, I actually sound designed before I even put the music and voiceover in. The reason why I did this was I wanted to get creative and layer percussion and synths and different textures that felt like music itself. So that way, once I added a soundtrack and I added my voiceover, it felt completely full. Finding interesting atmospheric tones and percussion to just drive the story along and just to give it an ambiance, even without music, I find is a really cool exercise in sound design. So that way, once you do have music and if you add voiceover, your video actually feels full and complete. So long story short here, there is no set way to do sound design. Obviously, we all get inspired by music. So what I've enjoyed doing recently is just playing around and seeing how many audio layers I could actually stack on top of each other without music and without voiceover and just make it feel complete by itself. Ultimately, that's how you build an immersive world. And all of our favorite movies and TV shows, that's exactly what they do as well. When there's no music, no score, it's never completely quiet. You can hear the world around you. So with that being said, I'm gonna go continue to edit, and hopefully everyone watching is feeling happy, healthy, and inspired. All right, see you all soon.